Hey everybody, today I'm doing my VP1 for managerial accounting. We're doing job order costing versus process costing. I'm Stephen Chipman. How you doing? All right, let's get going. So we do this. All right, so basically the key difference in job order costing and process costing is really in the custom orders versus the non-custom orders. For job order production, many companies produce products individually designed to meet the needs of a specific customer. Each customized product is manufactured separately, and its production is called job order production or job order manufacturing. A key feature of job order production is the diversity, often called heterogeneity, of the products produced. That is, each customer order differs from another customer order in some important respect. On the other hand, process costing or process operations is the mass production of products and a continuous flow of steps. For example, an assembly line. Unlike job order production, where every product differs depending on customer needs, process operations are designed to mass produce large quantities of identical products. A key feature of process operations is the high level of standardization needed if the system is to produce large volumes of products. Thus, process operations uses a standardized process to make similar products, whereas job order operations use a customized process to make unique products. Both job order and process costing systems track direct materials, direct labor, and overhead costs. The measurement focus in a job order costing system is on the individual job or batch, whereas in a process costing system it is on the individual process. Regardless of the measurement focus, however, ultimately what we are looking for is the cost per unit of product resulting from either system. While both measure costs per unit, these two accounting systems differ in terms of how they do so. A job order system measures cost per unit upon completion of a job by dividing the total cost for that job by the total number of units in that job. In the other corner, process costing system measures unit cost at the end of a period by combining the cost per equivalent unit from each separate department. In process costing, the cost object is the process. So, examples of these two systems. For job order costing, Nike, through their online store, they allow the customization of shoes and other apparel, and they must make each product according to customer specifications. So they can't just repeat the same process over and over again to create the same product. However, with the job order costing system, they can create a wide range of products, which is probably why you don't see the same Nike running shoe on every person you see running around. For process costing, General Motors, they make only a handful of car models every year, and each car is made exactly the same on the assembly line. So GM can make a lot of cars, but not a wide range of cars. Activity-based costing. This is different from job order and from process costing systems in terms of it uses the activities to find overhead costs. So the basic principle underlining activity-based costing is that an activity, which is a task, operation, or procedure, is what causes costs to be incurred. So the factor that drives this cost is the activity cost driver, and that is the activity causing costs to be incurred. So for General Motors, as an example, the assembly line costs would be mainly driven by direct labor hours used to assemble the products. And then if you kept going, you could do setup costs, which would be driven by the number of cars produced. Design modification costs, which they probably do every year. That would be driven by the number of new designs. And then plant service costs, which would basically be the square footage of the factory, paying for rent and whatnot. So it's these activity cost drivers that serve as the allocation base for each activity cost, and General Motors uses these costs to determine an expected activity level for each individual activity. So lastly, there's the equivalent units, which is used in process costing. A key idea in process costing is that of the equivalent units of production, which are otherwise known as EUPs. This is a term that refers to the number of units that could have been started and completed given the costs incurred during the period. So as an example, using generalized math, this is from the book actually, 100,000 tennis balls that are 60% through the production process is equivalent to 60,000 tennis balls that have completed the entire production process. So that was simply taking the 100,000 units or tennis balls and multiplying that by the 60% that were completed at the end of the period. This means that the cost to put 100,000 tennis balls 60% of the way through the production process is equivalent to the cost of putting 60,000 units completely through the production process. So having this information about the cost of partially completed goods makes it possible to measure the firm's production activity for the period. To really fully understand the firm's production activity for the period. This represents whole units of products that could have been manufactured with the amount of inputs used to create some complete and some incomplete units. So yeah, that's job order costing versus process costing. Thank you so much.